Hello friends, this is Praveen and today the topic of discussion is the climate and adaptation. First we have the weather. What is a weather? A weather is a day or day-to-day climate change or the change around us in the environment. Just like before sometimes it was sunny but now it is rainy. This is an example of the weather. Weather changes from a day to day or even hour to hour. This decides whether you have to take an umbrella today or not. Just like if today is a rainy day, so tomorrow will be or could be a rainy day and even a sunny day. We cannot predict the weather. So first let's learn about the factors affecting the weather of a particular place. First we have the temperature. A temperature is the degree of hotness or coldness of a body. So this is used to measure. This is measured by the instrument called a thermometer. When it comes to the meteorology, what is the meteorology? Meteorology is the study about the earth, and a person who does this is called meteorologist. So meteorologist is called meteorologist. So they use an instrument called thermometer. We learned about the three types of thermometer in the heat chapter. These were the Celsius thermometer, Fahrenheit thermometer and the Kelvin thermometer. But this is not, these are called scales, but this type of thermometer which measures the weather of or the temperature is called up a maximum minimum temperature. This records the maximum temperature also and the minimum temperature also. In this there is a U-shaped board like that. This has a air of mercury. This temperature measures the minimum, this maximum. In this, both types of scales are present. At the outer cover here, the Celsius degrees or the Celsius scales are present on the outer surface of the thermometer, and on the inner surface of the thermometer, just here, the Fahrenheit scale is present here. This is used to measure the maximum or the minimum temperatures of the day or even the overall of the year or overall. So let's move to the next. First, then how does the temperature affects the weather? If there is lots of temperature or the temperature is more, then the water would evaporate faster. So after 2-3 days it would be raining because the water goes up, would again falls back in the form of the precipitation. So just this effect like that way. And if sometimes the temperature is very low, just what will happen? The few days the rain will not come and all the moisture would be absorbed by the sun. So then we will feel hot afterward. So weather also depends on the weather temperature of a particular region. Next we have the humidity. What is the humidity? A humidity is a measure of the presence of a moisture in the atmosphere. We can say humidity as the moisture as the content of a water vapor in an atmosphere. If in the atmosphere there is a more and more humidity, the most humidity it could hold, so it is called as the saturated air. Just we learn about the saturated solution in which it could not dissolve any more substance in them. So in the saturated air it could not dissolve or contain any more water vapor, so it is called an saturated air. Then saturated air. Then we have the hygrometer. This is used to measure the presence of an humidity in the atmosphere. This device is a circular in shape which has numbering written. This detects the humidity and or the moisture present in the air and represent it in a just like it's here, and here is its pointer, and here the numbering returns. So when the humidity is low, it could and when it is most, it could pointer here. So this is a H hygrometer. So then we have the rainfall. So after when it is a sunny day, there comes a rainfall. Rainfall also helps in the factors as the humidity or the humidity, more of humidity evaporates, then it will be rainy day. So rain what do is to lower the temperature of the surroundings. How do this? This rainfall, but not always the rainfall is important for the lowering of a temperature. Rainfall is a part of a precipitation, and a precipitation can be formed in the fog, hail, snow, etc. Hail are the small bits when the water freezes in the above surface, and the fog is formed when the water vapor at the ground level or the lower level of the earth or here presently it converts or the condenses, so it forms a fog. So instrument or the device which measure the rainfall, only rainfall, is called a rain view. This is a cylindrical like device which measures the limit of the water vapor. So this has numbering written on it on the mm, based on mm. When the rain fills it fills with the water here. So the number which its water level is called the number of rainfall happens. This is why when in the just like in a region there is that much of rainfall which is about just like this is a region, here is about 250 meters of rainfall, and here is only 200 of rain. This is the same region, but then the rainfall is calculated averagely distributed all in the region. So the average of this rainfall will be about 225 mm, which is its average or the mean. Let's move to the climate. What is a climate? A climate is a weather condition for past thousands of years or the many years. This do not can vary from a thing to thing. Just like if you are reading a newspaper, that would be an example of a weather because it comes daily changes. But a book is an example of a climate. Just as the climate. So just like in Jammu Kashmir, there is a cold weather always. So we can say that is cold weather. What is the weather of tomorrow? Cold weather. What is weather of today? Cold weather. What will be the weather of tomorrow? Cold weather. So we use a term called climate. So what is the weather of the Jammu and Kashmir? It is cold. What is the climate of Rajasthan? It is warm and hot, dry and hot. So these are the climates. So let's move to the factors affecting the climate of the earth. First, distance from the sun. Do you know how the there is 6 months winter in dark or night in the North Pole and the South Pole, and the 6 month day in the North Pole and the South Pole. Yes, yes, this is because continuously there is also 6 months and 6 months, that there is a continuously 6 months, because we see the earth has its axis which is tilted. It is not a perpendicular, which is not straight, but is tilted, which is about 23.5 degree. It is tilted. So it is tilted. So what happens? There is a sun. It's putting his rays. So here is its, and this is, there contains a daytime. This is the daytime because it shares the north and it have light, but the rest here is have a night. Have night. So this area which is a south pole is facing in the north, facing in the sun. So it would have the here day, and here it would have in the North Pole, it would have in the night, and the earth would not rotate like that way, so it would have to rotate on its axis. So when this axis, the North Pole and the South Pole will point in the same direction, and when it will rotate, the North Pole will again remain in the North Pole and the South Pole remains in the South Pole, but here this area changes its position from a night to dark. So there is 6 months, days and nights in the, so distance from the earth also determines the climate of the earth. If the earth part is far away from the sun, so it would face the cold, because the sun releases the light energy, which also is in form of a heat energy. So the distance from the earth, if it is very close, so we will place farm, because the region which has a higher concentration of the light and the heat, so it would face lots of heat or warm air here. Now let's move to the tilt. We have learned about the tilt, how much degrees it tilts and what are the effects of the tilt of the earth, and we learned about that, what are the degrees and why there is 6 months day and night continuously. Then these were the factors affecting the climate of the earth, whole earth. But now let's learn about the, so the sunshine and the sunset would be also example of the factors affecting the earth, and these both are the factors affecting the place. So let's start up with the sunrise and sunset. So this is an earth, this is here a sun or a source. The source is something which is a material or the thing which is obtained from it. So this is source, which is sun, and when this earth's place is pointing at a fixed center, which is fixed center or the fixed eye contact with the earth place would face, there would be noon, which is exactly center, and which is very exactly center, there would be a midnight. And when we will come here, the time will suddenly increases here and here increases. So when we will go like that, with the time will decrease, and so here we will go, here it would be something 5 o'clock in the morning, and when we will come here, it would be approx 6, 7 o'clock, which is in the sunrise. When the sunrise is here, when we will come here at the noon, so the time would start at 10 o'clock, then 12 o'clock, then 3 o'clock, then the suddenly times changing, its or the temperature is going to reduce. So here the temperature is most, here is the least, increase, decrease. So here would be then 5 o'clock, which would be a pleasant cold. Then we have is here 6 to 7 o'clock, which we have is a sunrise. So sunset and the sunrise also are the factors which affect the climate of the whole earth. So let's move to the climate factors which affect the climate of a place. First, we have the distance from the equator. What is an equator? Equator is a imaginary line which divides the earth into two halves, which is northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. This is the line, or the on this there are lines which are seem to face or have lots of heat here, because the sun have the higher concentration on here these line. So distance from the equator could also lead to the climate of an earth, climate of the place there. If I am living here in the moderate climate, so I would have a moderate climate, not at as high as the very hot like an equator, or not very cold, which is very far away, just like in the North Pole, in the South Pole. So it's very cold. So when we will go away from the equator, we will face lots of cold, and when we will come closer to the equator, we will feel hot. We tend to feel hot. This goes same in the northern and the southern hemisphere in the both regions. Then we have an altitude. What is an altitude? Altitude is the height on which the place is located. Just like when we go at the Himalayas, we tend to feel cold because of the higher altitudes. As we move high in the troposphere, we feel cold, but then the temperature suddenly increases and then decreases very much. But when we go further, we feel cold, and our oxygen levels of there also decreases. So our cheeks became red there because of the more hemoglobin has to be carried, so it becomes red in color. So altitude also affects the climate of the place, because earth is a warm place, and if we live very close to the earth, we will tend to feel hot. So when we go deep inside the earth, or dig a hole in the earth, and we sit in it, we face lots of heat. But when we will go at a higher place, we feel less heat, but we tend to feel heat, cold. Then another factor which affects the distance, the factors affecting the climate of the place is the distance from the sea level, from the sea areas, water bodies. Distance from water body. So what happens, just if you see a Chennai, which is a very close place to the water area, it has higher heat. So depending on the region, if it is the distance is from the sea is more, so we will tend to feel cold, but not always, because if we are placed in the region which has lots of water deficiency, just like in the Rajasthan, we will tend to feel hot. But when we are access close, because the sea heats are coming here, we learned about the sea breeze and land. Because of this phenomena, the temperature of that region tends to feel the climate of that region is humid because it has a high humidity. So place which has a higher humidity is called humid and hot. But in the Rajasthan it is dry. Dry is the opposite of the humid, which means less presence of the water vapor. Then let's move to the adaptation. So when we feel very cold, what we wear? We wear different types of clothes. Just like in summer we wear cotton clothes, in winter we wear woolen clothes, and depending on the reason. So the animals also have a special technique to adapt to their conditions. Adapt to their conditions. So let me give an example. This is a story of thousands of years ago or millions of years ago, when the humans were hunter-gatherers. So we do not exist these dogs. So what happens? These were the wild fox hares who wanders around the remains of the humans. But they were afraid to go near them because of the presence of the more hormone. But after some times these hormone level comes to decrease and they became a human friendly. So then the wild fox turns into the dog, which not helps which do not disturbs the hunters to hunt, but enjoy their meals also and guard their homes. So this is one type of adaptation made by the fox and changes into the dog. So I can say that wolf adapted into the dog. So let's move to the adaptation by the tropical and temperate forest. Here the temperature of here is not that much of cold as an hot climate regions, just like deserts, and not cold, very cold, just like the polar regions. So it is a moderate climate and it has lots of rain. These forests or these areas have lots of rain. So let's first learn about its adaptation. Because of here is some of heat, so what the animals living here have done, they have done acid-table. Acid-table, we know that nocturnal animals come at night, but acid-table is the opposite of the hibernation. They sleep, long sleep for in the summers, but hibernation is an opposite of this. They go in the long sleep in the winters. To adapt, so in the monsoon season it is very hot. So what happens is the frog, they are present to have a sticky feet in which they could climb up the tree. Because when the tree is that much of height, when the dog lives on the forest floor, and when the water will raise up, so what will happen? The frog have to go at a higher place, so it's stuck its feet and go up. Then we see elephants. Elephants are also found there. They have long ears to maintain the temperature of their body. Yes, the ears of an elephant are used to keep the temperature at the same time. They have a trunk which is used to spill water on their backs to make themselves cold. This is why evaporation makes the surface in which the water has been erupted cold. So then some plants, animals live near the cold bodies, just like tigers lives in the near water bodies, because when they live in the near water bodies, when they are feeling very hot, they could swim in that water body. Yes, tigers also swim in the water body. Then most of the insects and the snakes lives in the hollows and caves to feel cold to feel themselves a normal temperature, and there in the temperate and the tropical forest they have a very competition of the food between each other. So many animals have adapted to eat food which is not eaten by the another animals. So let's move to the cold climate. So what happens in the cold climate is there are two types. To prevent from it, one, live there, which when most of do this hibernation. What happens in this is the polar bear, just like when there is very cold in the surface, they go for a long sleep in winters. But migration is flew away from one place to another. From there is very cold here, so they flew from here to the cold region. So this is called migration. So the animals living have a large pad-like feet which do not sink in the snow easily, and they are very good swimmers, just like the polar bears, which are very good swimmers to catch. They eat the fish and catch. They swim and catch the fish to eat. Then how they are prevented from a snow? They have a layer of bubble inside their skin which prevents from the heat. This is just like when you cover yourself with a thick coat of the blanket, you feel very cold, but when you cover with a fat blanket of 2-3, this because they prevent the heat to flow outside which your body is releasing. So we this is why we when we feel cold we take over the lots of blankets. We take lots of blankets. Let's move. Then you have seen Arctic foxes which camouflage. Why they camouflage? Just like polar bears, they have white color which to camouflage with the snow, because their predators do not harm this or to catch a prey. Just like a polar bear is hiding to catch it, so that the prey do not seize him and he could catch it easily, and Arctic fox to prevent itself from any predator. So let's move to the hot area, hot climate, just like Rajasthan or the containing deserts. So the most animals found here are the nocturnal. So they comes out at night. They lives in the watery at the lower surface of the ground, and a kangaroo rabbit which is found here to prevent it from a scarcity of water. What they do, they adapted to convert the water from the humidity present in the air, or the food they eat is enough for their water availability. Then you see a camel. Camel have also a large pad-like feet which is used to walk on it, because if it has a very thin, this could go in the sand easily. And the camels have 2 layers of eyelashes which prevent from the sandstorms, and the nose or the nostrils which can be also closed on when they want to close it. And it has a hump in which they use to store the food, the water, but they normally do not store food in water, food in hump. This is water is stored in the blood, and blood is swallow more to, so a thirsty camel can drink about 200 liters of the water in one time. So let's summarize what we have learned today. We have learned about the weather. What is weather? A weather is the day-to-day climate change. What are the factors affecting this? These are temperatures. This is used to use temperature is the coldness or the hotness of a body. This is measured by a thermometer. We learned 3 skills. This temperature is called a max minimum temperature, which contains both the scales Celsius and Fahrenheit. Then we learn about the humidity. Humidity is the presence of the water vapor in the air or the moisture. Instrument which measures it. Then we learn about the rainfall. What this is the form of precipitation, how it affects the factors of this, how we can measure it by the rain dew. Then we learn about the climate. What are the factors affecting the climate? Just the factors affecting the climate of the whole earth is the distance from the sun, tilt of the earth, sunrise and sunset. Distance from the equator is the climate factors affecting the climate of a person, place, altitude and the distance from the water bodies. Then we learned about how do the plants and animals, how does the animals adapt in the tropical and temperate forest. Just like then we learned about the adaptation in cold climate, and then we learned at last but not the least we learned about the hot climate. So friends, I hope that you like this video, and at the last, thanks for watching.